Yeah, Matt Dillhoff is another one who I used to enjoy. Um, but lately I just find he's so quick to he just goes off the people too quick before he gets. I mean, I generally see people struggle to try to explain their position or whatever, and he just never gives them the chance. And I think he's just burned out. I mean, you've seen it for years. I think he's just burned out.
Sure.
I
And
think he's a great debater, but I think he's just kind of I think he's just tired of the whole shtick.
well, and he's at this point, he's heard it so many times he can usually spot it as it's
Right.
coming. Which I think 95% of the time, probably right. Probably it's going to go exactly the way he thinks. In
You're
other,
right. I agree. Yeah.
I think there's a 5% though, where there's either a slight difference where someone doesn't mean it the way that he thinks that it's going, or the person is coming at it from a genuine curiosity and they can't explore that curiosity. Uh, it's rare. It's super rare. And for someone who, has done this for so long, and you just start to see this pattern of the same thing over and over, those rarities don't stick out anymore. And you don't expect them to come. And so you just want to deal with it and get through with it, quickly. Um, and I think that the network has a lot of different voices that could be that allow for that curiosity. I think for the repeat callers that like just bring you know, the same arguments or questions over and over, like you're not going to get anything from them. But like the callers who are interested in trying to figure out um, one, what the other side thinks. Like I appreciate, like, if they have a genuine curiosity for what the other person thinks, like that's all what I always want to try and understand what the other person um holds for their position. And if we can get to a point where we both can fully understand and even steelman the other's position, I think we're so close to coming to a common like understanding that it might just be a few steps away from one side, uh if not being convinced at that point, being interested in trying to learn more about that position and see, why there are differences in opinion about that position and see, why there are.
I see. Easy Rider came and went. Ah, damn, he left.
Oh, sorry.
No, no, no. Yeah, we'll bring Victoria up as well. She's got some interesting thoughts, but I mean, between her and Easy Rider, I'd rather have Easy, but I'll take her. I'm just kidding, Victoria. Don't kill me. You gotta unmute yourself. You can't yell at me if you're muted.
Was talking, giving you a lecture about listen to this newest iOS security update. Got some spice in there. The Discord UI fuckery with the audio output can't beep boop it out.
Yeah,
But yeah, I guess you have some interesting views.
I struggle with that too. I'm fucking around with Streamlabs and trying to get it to stream to live to the YouTube damn Discord channel, and
Dude, Discord is if you look like the configuration, like they just keep changing shit,
Yep.
and then also depending on your device and whether you're going through the browser or the
Well,
client.
I'm using Streamlabs to push it out, but Chris
All
created
right, cool dude.
Chris.
I'm just a regular truck,
That's
okay.
right, man. And I
On my little 4x3 old ass phone.
because but Chris created the channel, and so he's the owner. I don't have the option to stream live to the channel, so I've got a simulcast to both my channel, my personal channel, and this channel, and then I fucked around. Yeah, whatever. It's
Well, then you gotta fuck around with all the middleware and bullshittery,
yeah,
and it gets
it's, tr-
wonky,
it's
but it's doable.
yeah, it is doable.
Back like in the
I'll
90s.
figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck with all your audio input, output shit.
well, and it's funny is like I said, we were talking about that deconstruction zone dude, Austin. He's got somebody who
Wow,
handles.
that was like totally English. That Dustin dude's
Yeah,
Austin.
yeah,
What?
I stumbled on it. I can't remember what the hell his name was. Dustin.
I'm sorry to
Justin.
crash your personal conversations
There's
here about what
no.
the
She was going on. I wasn't going to interrupt her. It was great to have somebody actually come up here. I mean, we're used to having people come up here and just mush mouth like me. So
I mean, are you guys talking about the same old sing song? Like God exists. Where's the
so
consciousness?
I
All that
did. I
jazz.
didn't want to do that. I literally call it Friday Night Fun just to try to get some people in
I
here.
saw the fun title. I was,
And,
drawn in, and
and
I was just with Easy Rider, but he found you guys to be boring instantly. I
yeah,
would assume
I
it.
figured.
Sorry.
Yeah, I told. I
No,
told.
it's all good. We came in on your private little meeting here.
He hasn't messaged me yet. I talked to him last night. He popped in. I mean, I haven't seen him in months. He popped in. Um, I could listen to
Well,
him.
apparently, this gentleman, Jack Baird, I don't know, you seem like the kind of nerd, or maybe Frank, you too,
Yeah,
that would be in one of those Facebook groups,
yeah, I know Jack Barrett.
like debate theists, I don't know, whatever those people are.
Yeah, I'm not a debate bro. I get bored as shit when the
Or whatever, you
fuckers.
go like around these places, okay?
Yeah,
You're around the outskirts.
I do.
You're with T-Jump, for God's sake.
I do. I admit it.
Maybe
I tend.
I know you have some vendetta against God or religion. I
That's what
don't
it
know what
is. That's
these
it. That's
things
what it is.
are. I don't
I
care.
hate God. That's what it is.
Yeah, you didn't get what you wanted when you were a kid. Wow, wow, wow.
So
I'm just fucking with.
I got
But what is your background on that,
turkey.
Scotty? Tell us your personal story.
my personal story about what? About God?
Yeah, did you just grow up like a nobody kid and it didn't matter, or what?
No. I mean, I never really bought into it. I mean, I can remember hearing the stories and being told these stories like this happened, and I remember being very very
But what was your
very young.
profile as a kid? Did you go to church? Like, what was
I went to church, but not like my I was raised by a single mom, so I wasn't dragged to church by anybody.
Yeah, so you guys had better things to do, and sometimes
Absolutely,
you might have wanted. So that was like my life too. It's like we go and we shit, but other stuff.
yeah. So it wasn't until I finally when I got older and it really wasn't until the internet when I got on the internet when I started getting my real anti-theism going.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, that's fair enough because I mean I don't know. I haven't studied this, of course, but I have noticed. I guess in these social media digital places, now that I think about it, because I don't talk about this shit higher level with nobody, because it just doesn't come up in everyday conversation. But
So
yeah.
what drew you to I mean, because we met on T Jump server. What drew you to that?
Oh, so it's it's simplistic, like you might imagine for me. So I hadn't been on Discord in years, because gaming and shit, and then I hadn't been on for a while. So, one day some friends wanted to crossplay. I'm a, a console pleb. I admit it. So I get on, and I guess there was a blinking button. It was like discovery. I think that was like discovery stages. I don't know. It was just, blinking
Yeah.
at me purple. And I'm like, okay. I press it and it had a list of people or communities or whatever the fuck they're called. And T Jump, I guess, was having a stage and it was number one. It had some piddly amount of people, maybe 80. I mean, I don't know. And then there was like a list of others that were much smaller than that. I'm like, well, I guess I should be adventurous. What's this about? What does this mean? And then I think it was a Claire Caw, Jen, all the
Oh
characters
my
that were,
god.
and T Jump explaining like his whole philosophy and rocks and tornadoes, and I didn't consent to them. And I'm like, interesting. And so I hung, I stuck around because, again, I just don't, these just aren't, I mean, this just doesn't come up in, everyday, conversation. And Claire was interesting. I heard this woman, and I was in, the car shop, I just looked up her name because that's her user handle. And I'm like, a Nazi picture comes up. I'm like, cool. Frank's was there. T-Jump, he's T-Jump.
Yeah, he's a character. And then, but Claire, God, I hadn't thought about her in a minute.
Somebody, I don't know, there was a sighting of her. Didn't you post something in T-Jump's
something, but I think it was
like maybe the kindergarten teacher thing he does on Sundays?
Yeah, but I actually heard somebody else talking that reminded me of her, and that's when I did some digging and found her on some
other weird shit happened with Jen, or I don't know.
I spotted her the other day on her Jen and Ben account, like they're married.
Yes. I'm gonna admit, I like had some drinks like maybe a week ago. It was like 3 a.m. Because I stay up all night. And I'm listening, I'm in like a Hegelian wizard channel, right? Because, I like that mysticism shit and other things. And so I'm listening, and then they start talking about Jen, and I think she's in there too. And she was posting her usual, like, I built, artificial intelligence learning machines, like posting her graphs, and you know how it is. Yeah, all that stuff.
She built it in Paint, I'm sure she did.
Her sphere.
Yeah, all the things she invented, like the mushroom physics and whatever the fuck was going on. So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, some people were talking in the VC, and I was like, wait, are you talking about Jen? Yeah, and they're like, yeah, that Jen, as you would describe her. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Girls Gone Wild or something like that. But whatever, to each their own. But I guess it's a Ben and Mike thing. I don't know. Don't know.
Yeah, I know they were doing a YouTube channel that it's her and this Ben guy, but I always thought she was a lesbian, so I wasn't sure what. But for all I know,
well, I know we're streaming live, but I mean, I don't care. Whatever. She said terrible things to me in the past. Jen, you deserve it. You advertised yourself. But I do like you. I think maybe certain people were correct that it was, a mental condition. But I don't know. But I thought you were in a place in the Southern Pacific, married to a certain individual who did certain things, and you'd sent me pictures, and it was, it was amazing.
Really?
So I'm wondering. I'm like, so wait a minute. Yeah, I was like, so wait a minute. You. Everything seemed to be like great in your life. A tropical country, New Zealand. Husband was like a boxer at a plant. And you make good money with that. Working at like a warehouse or something like that. Sending me pictures of like the beach and the coastline. I didn't like look into the properties of the photos. I just took her at face value. Told me not to tell anybody about that. That's not really my business to tell now, but And then so some, randos on the internet were talking about her, and I'm like, wait, how does that work? How are you in New Zealand when you're from, you got to New Zealand from Canada, and then, you're married and you're living, as far as compared to my life, a picturesque life, honestly. I mean, even if I was like a mad physician in the head or physicist in the head. But I don't know. Something about some other guy, then this Ben and Jen. I don't know what all that means. I don't understand the kids and their social stuff.
The kids.
Well, I guess she's like my age. I don't know. Like I don't know. But she was a character.
We've had lots of characters.
Nirvana still sucks. I mean, I don't know. I still don't care for him.
He may show up.
He's AFK.
Well, I don't care. He should come. I mean, because he banned me out of his server, and told the other mods, like, I don't feel safe with her there. She's a problem. I'm like, whatever. It's because I called you out on Sam Hyde. Get over it.
Yeah,
I never disliked him. I was always, kind of, like empathetic.
He's young. Let's just say that.
That's what I'm saying. Young. Like, I get it. I
genuinely like him. But he got.
And I know I sound drunken and fucked when I talk to you guys, but like, like what the fuck? Like, fuck off.
But he
Sorry.
he got so enamored with those other guys. Go ahead, Vic.
Sorry, I was just asking, who is this that we're talking about?
Nirvana. He's another.
Not Sam Hunt.
Another guy that we're basically revisiting all the weirdos we've talked to on Discord in the last years.
His actual name is Trevor.
Well,
would you shut up, Frank?
You just doxed him, Frank. Now people are gonna find him. They're gonna kill him. It's gonna be all your fault.
No, I know, and they do this all the time. His other buddy would tell me his name. I already forgot. What was it, Travis? I'll probably forget instantly again. But I'm like, listen, this is important for people in the digital age.
It's not.
Please do not just, shut up, you. You're old. Nobody cares about you.
Hey, what's your name? Is it Victoria? Is it really Vicky? Victoria?
Yeah, it is.
And
don't speak my name. You are not.
I actually just put it together. When Vic first joined Chris's daily thing, I thought it was. I know it was a girl. So
yeah, I'm also Victoria. I just go by.
I kind of guess. So
hell yeah!
What are the odds that we have two Victorias?
You go by Vicky as well. Stop talking, you. You also go by. Well, because we're having a Victoria moment.
Okay.
Hello. You should all be in awe. Victoria, do you also go by Vicky or is it Tori?
No, I just go by Victoria or Vic.
Ah, interesting. See, for me, it's Victoria, Vic, and Vicky, but Vicky is really kind of like per era. It was in earlier days of my life, so it would apply to certain people that are, from the past. Vic will depend on many factors, which is going to sound weird, but the race, ethnicity, and of course my, how well I know them. Otherwise, no. So, my dad called me Vic. When I work with minorities in the workplace, particularly like African Americans, and even other blacks and some other minorities, the way that they say Vic, the way that they pick on it right away, just kind of just works with me. I've heard other people say that to me, and it's weird. It's I'm why would you assume to call me Vic if I told you my name's Victoria? I don't know. I got weird things about that.
I'm calling you Tori.
But in the end, it doesn't matter. Tori?
Tori. Yeah, I never considered
it. To be honest,
you brought it up.
I've never said this aloud, but I don't know, the Tori nickname, I'm why?
Yeah, I've never been able to respond to it. There's actually a guy who's I said, you can either call me Victoria or Vic. And they're like, I don't like that. I'm going to call you Tori. I'm like, you can try, but I'm never going to be able to respond to it.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I wonder, I'm is this supposed to sound like British monarchy or some shit? I'm no. Honestly, I'm whoever came up with that idea sucks.
Yeah, I've never been able to. In fact, when I was in elementary school, I had no idea that Tori came from Victoria.
I didn't know it either.
I didn't know until probably my adolescence or some crazy I don't know. It's hard to say. Time is, I'm old. So, but I don't think I heard it until a little bit later in my life, as in not from the get-go. And I just, maybe that's why I have such a negative, feeling against it. It's just when I first heard it, I must have been cringe.
Yeah.
How dare they?
It does not. It doesn't connect. If you try to call me Tori, I think you're calling someone else. I don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a it's wait, what? No. Maybe that's why I'm passive aggressive about who calls me Vic. It's got to be the pitch, the tone. Who are you?
So I'm like that with Vicky, because so my parents are the ones who call me Vicky, and when they introduce
same here. It's reserved usually for people like that or childhood friends.
Right, and so when they introduce me to someone, they'll if they know the person really well or they feel really they feel close to them, they'll introduce me as Vicky, and I'll be like.
That's a good point. I mean, I could just, just limit it to two options because most people are going to usually go for Vicky. which I don't like. It's like, no, you do not speak this. It's just like, no.
Not allowed
And
to come
I
from
also
your
have an
mouth.
issue with the spelling of it.
Yes, exactly. So everyone always wants to spell it with Y at the end.
No, fuck that. They always want to spell IE, but I won't hold it against anybody if they do double K either.
Oh, well, see, for me, so my spelling is, Vickie, and
Yeah, that's fine.
everyone else around me either does a Y at the end, or they'll do a Vikki.
I don't appreciate those other ones like with the Y's, okay? Because I never run into them, and like that's like that's prestige. It's my shit. But I feel you.
It could,
You had more
it's
exposure
probably,
to them. I'm like, ugh.
it's probably a local thing. Everyone I know about it, like anyone I've ever met who's gone by Vicky here, they usually do it with a Y, and so that's spelling that most people go with.
I would tell them like it's Vicky, even like some kind of distant relatives, and they would like just intentionally like just not caringly just Vikki or whatever the fuck
That's
they
exactly
thought it
all
is.
of my relatives. All of my relatives.
I know, and I'm like, you know how you like have shit with your relatives that goes on for years, like we've unresolved, kind of issues. And it's like you get a Christmas card and it's just like Vicki, and it's just like, yeah, you doing this on purpose, motherfucker. Like, come on.
Yep. And so, with all of that spelling nonsense, and it's like when people misspell your name, it feels like a little stab, like, keep your distance sort of thing, like, I don't know you, and so when that happens, I'm like, you know what? Fucking sick of it. No one will misspell Victoria or Vic. So I'm just
Do they misspell Victoria? Are they troglodytes?
When I was
Unless
young,
it's like some Scandinavian shit with a Y, I guess.
There were some people like in my early years where they struggled with Victoria, but surprisingly, I haven't had anyone give me like with my my nickname Vic. I haven't seen anyone do the K on the end, which is I think the more masculine spelling.
I have no idea.
I usually when see someone like a guy named Victor who goes by the nickname Vic, I've always seen them put a K on it.
Yeah, but isn't that I've seen the other variant. But I will have to say, like, I mean, with Vic, like, also that applies to people who, like, I have kind of a relationship, or maybe somewhat of a bond. Like, and that can include, like, coworkers. But, like, in a professional setting, or, like, if you just meet me and, it's either, like, you'll assume to call me Vic, even though I didn't announce that. But, like, just depending on the circumstances. Again, like, so I'm just thinking more, like, professional versus like casual or with friends or online or something like that. But I'm sorry, Scotty and Franks.
Yes.
This is amazing and educational for me.
Yeah,
I've never been a part of a Victoria. Like, this is, I mean,
mind blowing.
I just learned a lot.
I just kind of zoned out.
That was very important.
I'm looking at all the
She
the
feels,
nerdy stuff.
I feel validated for the first time.
I know Frank.
I always thought I was like a little like fucked up with my logic with all that.
You guys want to know something? My real name is Franks92.
It is not.
I believe it.
Frank's over there questioning all his choices that brought him to where he is today, right now. How the fuck did I join this channel?
I didn't mean for it to go on as long as it did, but you know what?
It was impressive. I will give you that. It was impressive. I'm glad you two were able to bond over this.
Yeah. So.
Hey, it was important, Scotty. You got just a generic fuck name, okay?
Yeah, just be mad.
Although it is cool. I love it. So, Scotty, sometime I want to talk to you about Kosovo.
Oh, yeah?
Not tonight. Yeah, I do. Seriously, I do.
Well, I mean, I only have very little. I mean, well, like what? Hang on.
Well, that's why I'm saying not tonight. Like,
Okay.
It's gotta put my questions together because it's specific to my endeavors. Like, so I'm not gonna be like, tell me about Kosovo.
Well, I was only in Kosovo for like 3 weeks.
I don't care.
Okay.
If I find that you might have useful information to my cause.
I was drunk most of the
And
time.
I also like, actually, I like hearing about people's experiences.
Okay. Well,
Well,
I had
when
some
were
of
you
those.
over there? What year?
2003-ish. I'd have to look.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll talk later when I'm not, a little tipsy,
Yeah.
I know it'll be like a 5-minute conversation. You're like, what?
I mean,
It's important to me.
I was drunk most of the time I was there too, so.
I mean, yeah. You're a contractor, though, yeah?
Yeah.
No, you were a Fed.
No. I was contractor. I was ComSat at the time. ComSat, blah blah blah.
More. I just like hearing stories from the elderly about their wartime
Oh,
efforts.
God. Ouch.
And you were over in a
Oh.
region that's, personally matters to me. That's all. I'm serious. I've been thinking about it, Scotty. Like, look, in my
Kick me in the
room,
nuts.
I've got like at least 100 books. Of course, half of them are on like, World War II, as you do. But, many other things. And the thing is, and like all like the 8 stacks of like, photo albums from like my grandfather when he was in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, all that jazz, and like so many others. And I've been thinking like, damn. And then the messed up stuff with my mother, over there. I'm like, damn, I'm such a little shit. Like, I was always fascinated by what they did, and like. Just like my grandfather's was sergeant major, like just all those things, and I should have asked more questions because now they're all dead, and I'm left here with all the relics of the past, and like I go through it, and I'm like, holy shit!
I told both my boys, their grandfather, my ex-wife's father, lived here in town, and I told them for years as they were getting older, you guys need to make the effort to go see him, and when you're old enough to drive, go take him to lunch, go talk to him, just go spend time with him. You'll absolutely make his week, but there'll be a day when
I haven't that
you
too.
won't,
It's
you
so
won't be able to do
important.
that.
Yeah.
And it happened 2 years ago. He passed, and my oldest came to me and said, I wish I said, yeah, you'll never get it back. You'll never get that chance back. And bear in mind, their grandfather was not a very interesting person. He was a farmer. He was very very down to earth. But you'll never get the chance to know who he was.
What he experienced, what he went through, and
Sure.
Say as you do about farming, but like even that in itself, and like in the time period, I don't know.
They used to love when they get a chance to go out and hang out with him for the day, and when they were like really young, and they get to see the cows, and then later on we tell them while they're eating a hamburger, yeah, that was that cow. That was the best reaction.
Or yeah, describe cultural differences, like political things going on, and stuff like that.
They both grew up with computers and gaming, and not around the whole farming thing, but the days that they got to ride a horse or feed a cow or whatever, it was neat. And I said, yeah.
Well, talk about think also about like impoverished conditions, he
lived through some hard times. He was an old guy, but I thought he'd outlive us all, but he did not. He went downhill very fast, and they finally had to put him in an assisted living home, and he was dead within 3 years.
Sorry to hear that. How long ago was that?
2 years ago is when he passed, roughly. And it was a time in my life when my ex-wife was bare minimum talking to me because I was remarried, and so she just wouldn't give me the time of day.
You were caught up with like all that.
And so I mean, he'd been dead for a few days before I found out from the boys that they said, yeah, he passed on Sunday, and it was like Wednesday. I was like, wow.
Oh man, that's a gut punch.
Yeah. And every time we'd go to like an event that the boys were at, and my ex-wife was there with her new husband, and I'm there with my new wife. The boys would sit with both of us. They would go back and forth, and David, my ex-wife's dad, he would always make a point of talking to me and being super cordial and nice and just a good old boy. He was a nice old man. And but what's really weird, speaking of weirdness, my ex-wife and my wife, they're talking now. They are texting. They are. That's not. I don't like that.
You're like, should I be
I
concerned?
liked it when they hated each other because they didn't talk. And
I wouldn't like that either.
Yeah, but that's just because you're being selfish, because you don't have to deal with mothers.
no, it's really not. It's honestly. I'll be honest with you. I know we're live and streaming. I don't care. My youngest went through some trouble. He got caught with THC stuff, and he's only 15 years old.
I got you.
And he struggled with it, and we busted him. But I mean, the result was it was all four of us, well, five with my son, sitting down around a table talking about, let's fix this. What do we got to do? Da, da, da. And then Shelly and Karen were texting back and forth and giving each other updates on what was going on, and now they're.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
Now they're just best buddies, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
I'll tell you, if they start having lunch together, I'm just going to move out.
Oh no, are they lunch ladies?
No, I think when you need to be concerned is when your wife starts asking things like, "So, what was it that drove you to work?"
Yeah. Well,
you know what? No, you need no. This is Scotty here. All right.
Oh, it's not. Right. It's not hard to figure out. He's why.
I'm old, been there, done that. Right? Is that? Am I right?
It's not
been
hard,
there, done.
It's not hard to
figure
figure
out
the deal. How I have two.
You know the deal. You're just annoyed that it might happen.
It should surprise nobody that I have two ex-wives.
Yeah, I thought it was 3.
No, I'm working on the third one.
Oh my god!
I'm just kidding, honey. I love you. No, she can't.
No, this is
She can't hear me.
Shit. Well, I love it. You know what a lot of people hate is Scotty and T-Jump server.
Yep, I love it.
I love it. Like, you're just on my same wavelength, in terms of
that's a carefully cultivated hate. Believe me.
I get it.
Specifically exclusive to the T-Jump server?
Oh no! I've got people that hate me.
No, this is his persona.
Yeah. Well,
clearly,
it's just that I have a very low tolerance for bullshit and trolls and.
Because you've been there and done that.
Yep, I've been through it. So I give everybody enough rope to hang themselves.
They want you to be more motherly towards the community, so it can grow and make T-Jump his money.
Yeah, his money's not going to come from Discord, that's for sure. And like I said, you
even with his his lame ass, his lame ass tactics to try to game it.
Yeah, his But
he got a job.
If you watch, he's got a job now. I don't know what he's doing, but he's.
I'm not going to speculate.
He still gets membership. People have paid for membership.
Yeah, he does have some cult little following.
Every once in a while, so he's still getting a little bit of trickle money, but
Frank's a fanboy.
But but hell, if Darth Dawkins can have fanboys, why can't T-Jump?
I don't know doesn't he just speak like a preacher and then just mutes people, isn't that
if you actually listen to Gary talk, if you actually listen to him, he does.
I just don't know if I want to do that. I've heard him speak for, small amounts of time.
He does know his shit, but he's
about what?
About the Bible. He knows he knows things about being a Christian, yes. But he's a precept.
Oh, well, that's wow, plus 2 points in life. Anyway, keep going.
He's a precept. And that's where it all falls apart for me. You say all these.
I just don't know what your cult following of this precept stuff. All you were precept. You too, Franks. You need to, be a professional and grow up. No more precept. Sick of it.
Yeah. Let's pick on Franks for a minute. Frank, I want to pick on you for a minute because you've waffled on this. I've heard you a couple times. People have asked you if you're a believer or not.
I'm not.
And you don't know how to label yourself right now.
No.
Hey, this is a growing and ever-changing process, Scotty.
Well, but
I'm like right in the middle of I don't know. I'm just trying to figure things out, basically. I don't know.
That's fine.
You're fine, Frank.
I think you said something about deism the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm more of a I used to be more of a deist, and I have my own opinions about the fundamental things, but it's at the same time I lean towards atheism more than anything else. So
That's fine. But I
yeah.
mean, just don't constrain yourself, like, don't, like, label yourself and then, therefore, like, be in bumper lanes or have, like...
Well, yeah, it's not so much the label. When somebody asks me, when they try to say,
Yeah, but that's
well,
just, like,
atheists believe,
subscribing to a
atheists
set
say,
of
atheists do
ideals.
this, and I flat out say, look, I don't care what label you put on it. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't believe your claim that a
Oh, I
God
meant in, like,
exists.
whatever he's trying to figure out about what aligns with him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So when somebody says, "Do you believe a God exists?" your answer is
Agnostic.
no, 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 no. When someone says, "Do you believe that a God exists?"
Yeah, like
Yeah, and
it's
the question is
either it's like either God exists
right,
or God does not. Which do
right,
you feel?
but not
You know.
what do you believe? Well, yeah, I guess it really is. What do you believe?
Well, it's like either so it's
Well,
not like
that's
false.
binary,
It's like
too, but keep
true or
going.
not true sort of thing. Like it's like it's not like you're saying you're denying an existence. You're saying you're not convinced.
Right.
You know, like I
Well,
don't
that
think
would be just more probabilistic.
like
I thought
But
atheism was more
so
just...
agnostic is about knowledge. Atheism is about belief.
yeah.
Right. Right.
So you
So
like in my
Right.
case, you put them together. Like in my case, you could call me an agnostic atheist.
that's
You don't
exactly the
like that
label.
term?
That
Yeah, I mean, I would
that's where
probably
I
fall
fall.
into that
That's
category,
exactly where I
too.
say if you
I
want to
just
put labels,
think,
put
it
labels in.
just, can we keep it simple, boys and girls? It's just agnostic. Like, unlikely, probably not,
You know,
you know,
when
can't
people
prove that.
have a problem with it, I'm like, call me whatever you want. Call me a
Sure.
lacktheist, call me a non-theist, whatever.
Yep.
I'm just not convinced. I
Right.
don't see evidence for it. Well, I don't see convincing evidence for it. I guess you could technically call, any religious text evidence, but it's not like, definitive.
Well, that's why I like to put it back on them and say I do not believe your claim that a God exists. So let's just start from
Well,
there.
and this is my other issue, is that when people, come in and they, put upon you, like, that this is how it is, this is the truth.
Atheists say,
That's my big issue.
Yeah, I get really tired of that. Like,
yeah, that
this is what atheists do, and
drives me
it's
up
like,
a
bro,
fucking wall.
you can't find a single atheist that believes the exact same thing.
Right.
Like, the
I would
only
agree,
commonality
definitely.
we have is that we don't believe in a God. You can find hard atheists. You can find soft atheists. Like where they're like essentially a Gnostic atheist is one that says there is no God. Like with no gods, like definitive. They are making a claim that a God does not exist.
Right. And I've heard there's a couple of those that flat out say a God does not exist, and I've heard their arguments for it, and they're good arguments. I just have a
I
hard
have
time.
to. I mean, and I don't ever...
I can't pitch it that way. I just can't. I don't have.
I'm not here to influence or
Right.
persuade people of one or the other. Like, I can tell you, we can have a discussion about it. Like, and I can, we can exchange ideas, go back and forth on that. But that's not really, But unfortunately, that doesn't reflect, the real world.
Do you guys know who Matthew is?
Who?
They call him omniscience, omniscience. He had a debate with T-Jump.
No.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
I think his argument is pretty interesting. He has something like he uses priors, like basically like abductive arguments, where it's like the best inference or the greatest inference to the best, or to the great.
You
It's
get it.
yeah, like he says like it's more expected under theism for us to have consciousness than under atheism.
I mean, unless they define clearly what those terms mean. But go on.
I heard there were two people that came to the stage about 2 weeks ago, and they were telling me about it, and I wasn't convinced, because I could always say, well, at the same time, just because it's more expected under deism that consciousness would arise than under naturalism. That doesn't necessarily mean that naturalism is false.
Exactly.
But yeah, which I would say that's a
You get
Matthew
it.
as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's like I don't know, like people are being convinced by his argument. He's a really smart kid, so I would look him up if you guys have the chance.
T-Jumper, who to look up?
No, his name is Omniscience, Omniscience, Matthew Adelstein.
Okay.
Yeah, he
It's
has
stored in my
American
memory
name.
banks.
Name, his address, his phone number.
I just doxed everybody. Forget it.
Did you say that you messaged Nirvana?
Nirvana's not gonna come on, man. I tried to get Nirvana to talk to me like for almost an entire year. Like he's just been AFK. I don't know why.
He's doing school. School's been his big thing lately.
Yeah, but I do school too. But that doesn't mean he can't
Yeah,
hop
no, he's
on
been
and
like
talk.
in his little troll face.
Well,
Maybe.
he doesn't really like you. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, even if he doesn't like me, he can at least talk to you guys. That'd be interesting.
Whatever, you guys were like glued at the hip. You know, he can text you back.
No, he's texting me
You're
back.
not
Like
important enough.
I told him, I said, hey, let's have a conversation.
Forever.
Tomorrow about whatever, because he was big into the politics of the election, and he told me he was very distracted by that. I'm like, hey, just pop on and let's talk for about an hour and just like shoot the shit.
What is he stressed out about?
I don't
never
know.
mind. Sorry.
That's the way he gets into it. So that's his personality.
Well, that's what I started to say. He got into it with, or he fell in with Sully and what's the other dickhead? Gaspar.
Ooh,
Sully. Gaspar. Oh my gosh,
changed
Gaspar.
his visual to a Backstreet Boy with, dark clothing, roaming the city at 3 a.m. at night, smoking.
That tracks.
Dude, it was weird as fuck.
Well, he's always been a bit odd.
It was part of his cult programming. He got programmed. You know by who?
Yep. But Gaspar was
same thing for Nirvana. It's
shit.
unfortunate.
I haven't seen Gaspar in a while either.
He's
shit!
farming the fields.
Talking about Gaspar, who the hell told me this? He's living like an Amish somewhere.
I just told you he's farming the hills in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
He's right up down yonder.
Was that you?
Are you serious?
Was that you telling me this, or was that Nirvana?
I'm telling you this. This is facts.
This is fact. It was Nirvana who told me who he literally
he's
living with Amish. He's
that's where he grew up, and
it's the most bizarre
he moved
shit.
back there. Yeah, I don't want to, my place like spill his whole private life, but yeah. I've known this, so he's somewhere up there.
Can you actually?
I've been thinking about sometimes when I daydream to go up there and like find him, and then have like the Coolio Gangster's Paradise.
That's not creepy at all.
Amish Paradise playing. Be like, yo, what up?
Hey Scotty, are you live streaming this?
I am.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna leave, but if Nirvana shows up,
why Nirvana's not gonna show up?
Well, hopefully he does. If I leave and he shows up, then I know he doesn't like me. So
No, I messaged him. I mean,
he likes you probably better than me and Scotty.
Hopefully.
No,
well, I'm just saying. I want to. I have.
Well, tell him like
anyway.
I want to talk to him and tell him I'm sorry. It was my fault.
Wait, what did you do to him?
I was lying.
Well, Victoria's left T-Jump server like 9 times, and I have to beg her to come back every time.
Yeah, because I'm like, why am I here? What am I doing? Got the sickness. But then I'm like, oh yeah, right. I have like no social life, so I guess I'll come talk to these lot.
Well, you show up like every day for like a month, and then you're gone for like a year, so it's really weird. Welcome.
Yeah,
in.
because Scotty, because this is
Holy
I have
crap,
things
Chris
to
showed
do
up
in
too.
my life.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You're not following me. Chris came in.
Shut
Look at
up,
that.
you.
We'll bring him up here.
Yes.
You know what? We'll bring everybody up here. Come on up here. Everybody come up here. I don't care. Bring them all up. I don't care. And Chris said, nope.
Yo.
Chris is just here to listen to us jabber. We're not talking about anything, Chris. We're not talking about anything. Shh. Boss is here.
What?
We were being very professional.
No, we weren't. We were talking shit about everybody.
Yeah. Where was that shit talking? Oh yeah. Fuck you, Scotty.
Wow.
Yeah, I do leave sometimes because I'm like, why am I on Discord, like this insecure piece of shit platform?
Well, that's
And then
what,
you guys, like in your obsession
I've
with
heard
your,
more
you know.
crap talk about Discord in the last week, and I just don't get it. I mean, Discord, of all the platforms that
Do
are
you
out
not
there,
know what's been going on with like the security and like privacy breaches and all that jazz on the other end?
that's every
Or you
single
only
one of
pay-
these. That's every single one of these. Every single one of these platforms has that problem.
Wow,
What's Discord got
wow.
that?
You stay in your help desk role there,
Oh,
okay?
ouch. Ouch. No, I mean,
I don't know. I want to
literally,
know about that satcoms, okay?
name me one more platform that doesn't have.
They're all shit. I get it,
Okay, there you
okay?
go.
I
Now,
have a hatred towards technology.
Go to
Okay?
Clubhouse.
wait,
No, that's worse.
you guys can hear me fine. Why can Chris not hear me?
I don't
My
know.
guess he doesn't know how to use his own computer. That could be it. He says no mic or camera. Probably no speakers either. Everybody else, Game Master, you can hear me, right? Phantom X, you guys can hear me. You can hear everybody
Yeah, I
else.
can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck. Oh, man.
Yep, all ears.
All right, well, good. Then it's probably Chris.
don't-
Well,
Chris?
hang on, Chris. Now, try this. Try leaving the stage and coming back in, because sometimes there is a weirdness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Discord is kind of, you know,
Discord
wonky and
sometimes will work.
trash.
So if you actually leave the stage and come back in, sometimes it fixes whatever weirdness you're having. Anyway, Frank was trying to make excuses to leave, and now we just kind of made him stick around a little longer. But
No,
Yeah.
that's okay, Frank. We get it. We're not as cool as whatever else you got planned for tonight. It's all
Yeah,
right.
you're never around, Frank's like, you
I got
know.
stuff to do, man.
No, you don't. It's Friday.
Yeah, yes, I have very important stuff to do. Very
Like what? Tell me
like-
about your cool life.
Holy crap, Chris just tagged me on Facebook and posted our channel. Man, they're all coming in now.
Oh my god, I should mind my manners. Yeah, well, anyways, fuck you guys and your like eternal arguments about like good.
No, because you know how much philosophy bores me too. So
But I appreciate your story because at least like that rules you out of, you know, certain buckets
yeah,
of them.
yeah. Well, I don't know what to tell Chris. I think he's
Scotty came of age. Actually, you came of age at like 8. And you're like, this is bullshit. I'm reading stories.
There really was a time when I remember thinking, "There's no way this is true."
You had other like, you know, financial, life shit going on.
Yep.
You go every once in a while.
Yep,
You do the ritual.
I grew up quick. Game Master, what are you up to tonight?
Nothing much. I still got one more assignment before holiday, and after my holiday, I got my final exams from college. Unbelievable.
Nice, congrats. I'm going to update our live stream to have some more stuff on it, since Chris is out there panning for us now, so you guys can talk amongst yourselves.
Hey, Game Master, I'm in my last class now. I'm taking my last class of my bachelor's degree, so I graduate next month. So,
Sweet.
yeah. What are you studying?
Technology.
Oh, okay, like computer science.
It's a new branch in my country,
Where are you from?
Indonesia.
Oh, interesting. Nice.
Did you say
Yeah.
Did you hear that right? What'd you say?
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
No,
Okay.
I think Vic's talking to somebody else in the background. She's
No, I was talking to you.
Oh, okay.
I
Sorry.
wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I heard that right. I apologize.
I'll shut up now. I'm playing around with Streamlabs, so like I said, talk amongst yourselves.
Why? You talk.
We need to be quiet just for this moment.
No, don't do that. I'm just not that interesting. I'm not that interesting. What the heck?
I don't think that's true.
It's a shame you
You know
got.
you've been full of shenanigans your whole life.
And there goes Chris. Okay, what the alert box? That's what I want.
Yeah, so you're supposed to be, more like community promoting in the atheist place.
Well,
Okay?
that's the idea. We wanna start.
Well, you gotta stop being a grumpy old ogre, like they say, metaphorically.
That's true.
Scotty with the memes.
Yeah.
That's why it's dish out internet hugs everywhere so that people can be like, yeah, this sounds like something I want to stay away from.
No, I appreciate the Scotty method. He's efficient. He gets it done. I'm all about efficiency.
I don't know what to say.
But your others in there, are concerned about the digital social contract and such. That old sing song.
How is that different from like the
Happen to be talking about their parents plotting to form an
offline
and,
social contract?
Just listen. They would destroy the decoys.
Sorry, I hear other
Yeah, Game
voices.
Master is hot micing.
Yeah.
And it interrupts my ability to think. What did you say now?
Sorry, I was asking.
I usually have a dragon avatar.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What's this thing you got going on here now?
You asking me or you asking?
Hrvatska.
I'm asking her.
Hrvatska. Anyways, your question again, Vic?
Oh, I was asking, what's the difference between an online social contract and an offline social contract?
An online versus what kind?
Offline. So the regular social contract.
Oh, I have no idea. I just made that up, but I mean, it seems to apply.
I was gonna say
The online digital social contract. Makes sense, right, Scotty?
It's clear as mud.
Well, he doesn't give a fuck, but I guess there's supposed to be etiquette I don't know. I'm sure there's like a bunch of studies on this in those kind of fields, and that study, online behavior, like
how we got game
parasocial
theory.
relationships. Yeah.
Though, so yeah, definitely parasocial. Like that's kind of new. That is specifically from online. There have been like some historical studies to see like how far back there might have been some parasocial relationships, which kind of starts with.
Well, I think that's more of a newer phenomenon, honestly, and isn't that more about like people clinging onto one like maybe singular entity? I don't really know. But like I'm just kind of poking fun out of it because it seems that depending on what the motivation or intention is. So if you're like community building, for example, like there's going to be like an etiquette, right? Like I guess like in just like the simplest example would be what the community's like little personal guidelines are, right? For like how to act. There aside from like the Discord ones. So there's going to be this social dance there. I mean,
Rule 1, don't mess with Scotty. That's rule 1.
I don't ever message him. You losers do, and I feel bad for him. He gets thousands of messages from me. Where'd you ban me?
I sometimes go looking for those. Those are funny to me.
Yeah, because you're a help desk analyst. You look at tickets all day.
Some days, yes, it does feel that way.
I mean, I get it. I've been there.
Lately, right now we're dealing with we're still dealing with the merger of the hospitals and trying to get everything under one bucket, and it's been fun.
That's another one I want to talk to you about. But like
Secular Dave showed up, man. Welcome.
Who's the Secular Dave?
He's a regular on Chris's show.
Nice.
You're welcome to come up here. I mean, you're all welcome to come up here. Really, this is just right now it's just a free for all. So, if you want to come up and chat with us, we're not talking about anything really intelligent or important. Don't be shy, Dave.
Come on up.
Some people don't know how a stage works. They don't understand how when they join the channel. But Dave figured it out. Look at that.
There you go.
What's funny is this is usually what bugs me about stages when you have everybody on the stage. But since we don't really have a topic and we're just kind of riffing right now, looking for the headset plugged in. No worries. The last time we had as many people, we got bored talking. We all just wound up going into a channel and playing Discord games.
Oh, there you go. I don't think I've ever played a Discord game.
There's some decent ones in there, but there's also some things you can play like you know the You Don't Know Jack. Apparently, you can if you have one person who owns it, you can invite. It actually sets up a website, and everybody can join. So we were playing You Don't Know Jack. It was kind of fun.
Nice.
But you know that's a.
Hey, Scott.
Oh, yes, sir.
Hey, Scotty, are you going to be doing more like different topics up here on Fridays?
So that's the plan. Like right now, we're just trying to build the community right now. You know, I'm trying not to pull too many people from T-Jump server. I mean, they're all invited, but I want to kind of build a community that stands on its own over here. Simply Secular Dave shows up on Chris's chat all the time. Vic's new. Phantom's been around for a while. But yeah, just it's you know how slow it is to build a community here. Really, what Demon Victoria said earlier, what really exploded us over on the other server was stage discovery.
Yeah, I got that. I got that started. Like I would just like send out messages like, "Hey, come join," and then we started growing slowly. Like, but then they took stage discovery away, so now we can't do it anymore.
Yeah, we were running stages.
I mean, literally, that was the story of how I ended up in a place. Like, sometimes I just have these moments where I'm like, how did I end up here? It's like walking through the forest and like dropping into a sinkhole to like another world. I'm like, what?
Yeah, we went from like 1,800 members to like 2,500 members like within like a couple of weeks, and then it just kind of grew from there over time. And then they pulled stage discovery, and we just kind of stuck there.
You know what, Scotty? One of T-Jump's guys that pays him, he was gonna pay me because I did the stage discovery, and I was like, no, just give it to T-Jump. I don't even want the money, honestly. I should have taken it.
Yeah, you should. If you spend time doing it, being a promoter like that, absolutely. Don't feel bad about getting paid. We're all whores. Some of us more than others. Dave, how are you? I've never heard your voice. Let's hear your voice. If your voice is not,
You've never heard my voice?
Oh, there we go. Oh, it's beautiful. I want to hear it more often.
I actually have streams up on my Reality to Ridiculous channel and somewhere else.
Oh well, shit. Why aren't you here?
From way back when, I used to do Secular Prime Time, and I did like a weekly recap of all the atheist content. And then a bunch of the people from the ACA got pissed at me because I was essentially building a channel, you know, on the backs of their videos and usage and all that. So I just dropped it. It wasn't worth the hassle.
Yeah. Man, but that would have been great to get like just some, you know, like hit daily news in the atheist circles. And then I'm like, all right, that's what these guys talk about. That's what's going on.
It was just starting to crawl out of the hole, you know, with viewers and that. And as soon as you get noticed, then people notice you for good or for bad. Yeah.
I get it.
So they were when they were upset because you were using the clips or what?
I was literally you could actually I think I deleted those off my channel. It was basically a weekly recap saying, you know, this was before the line even existed. And I just go through what was on this week, what interesting shows had been on, what was scheduled for later on the ACA channel. And I was actually the one who came up with, if you've ever heard there's 3 shows on the ACA channel right now, and one of them Neil's been on, and I think Chris has mentioned it.
He's been on Truth Wanted. There's shoot, I'm drawing a blank right now.
It's the 3rd show. There's Truth Wanted, there's the Atheist Experience, and there's the
I keep getting them confused with the lines.
sorry, yeah. Yeah.
Nonprofits?
No, well,
Nonprofits. That's the one. So when they
is Nonprofits an actual? Is it a YouTube show or is it a podcast?
As far as I know, it's the same as their other shows. They just haven't had a lot of hosts. I think they were really encouraged when Chris was interested in going there. I don't think they have people to run the background of that show, and it's more important to run the background of the other 2 shows, right?
Yeah.
All screeners and that. So anyway, when they came out with that show, I believe it was around the time Neil was on it for the first time. And as a part of my spiel going through what was on this week, I called the Atheist Experience their flagship show. And the host of the show, the regular host of the show, was like, "What do you mean that's the flagship show?" So he started calling Nonprofits the flagship show, like tongue-in-cheek. That's where that...
That's where Dan started doing it. Was it Dan? I think it was Dan who was doing it.
On Atheist Primetime.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, AXP, ACA, they've got a very storied past, going back many years. As a matter of fact, I believe that's where O'Hare started, right?
O'Hare.
What is her name? The atheist woman who... what was her name?
Not Tracy.
No, long before her. Madeline Murray O'Hare. She was one of the original founders, and she was the policy. She challenged the policy of mandatory prayers and Bible reading in Baltimore schools, and I think that I want to say that's who eventually started the ACA, but I might be wrong because she was part of American Atheists. Yeah, she settled in Austin, Texas. She founded American Atheists in 1963. I'm looking at her Wikipedia page right now. But then they got really weird. There's some real weird shit that happened, and eventually her and her son, I believe, were murdered.
Whoa.
Yeah, and really it had nothing to do with the atheism part of it. It was somebody who literally stole money from them or whatever. It just got fucking weirder and weirder. But that's literally where... I believe that was the actual birthplace, the birth part of where the ACA came from. American Atheist that was back in...
American
when did they acquire the studio?
It is different, but
Dude, that sounds like some true crime shit right there.
It is, and I think that's actually what they eventually sprouted out from. But I could be wrong. I just know that I just knew they were both in Austin, is where the whole thing started from.
Well, you should, for maybe your next atheist show, I don't know, do storytelling on that.
But anytime you research,
I think that'd be cool content.
Anytime you research the history of some of these atheist groups, there's some dark shit in it. There's some stuff that just gets weird.
I'll do that, but I mean, it's just new information for probably the commenter.
No weirder than a lot of churches do, but I don't know. It's just.
But it's still an interesting story. It seems like it's scratching your head a little bit. It'd be interesting to hear.
I know that there's Joe Zemecki is another guy who was part of the very, very start of the ACA, and he's not attached to them now because of something that happened. And then of course you have the most recent stuff that where Tracy left and Jen left, and then Matt blew up, and
some people said in chat that we're from Austin, with that phone number or that show.
No, it was the transgenders in sports thing. That not secular rarity. I always get the two confused. Secular rarity.
I'm gonna get yelled at by this Gaspar one, because they're going on and on about this atheist whatever, and I just interjected. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, you don't know the phone number in Austin. I'm like, I totally know about an Austin atheist outfit, totally. Please continue.
Yeah, there's
My bad.
There's all kinds of stories behind it. But anyway.
Can I tell you a little story of way back when?
Hell yeah.
So when I first kind of descended from my church, how it happened, essentially, one of the people at my church said, "Oh, you're an apostate." And I'm like, "What's that?" And I literally had to go look it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I am. So I went online and I saw, obviously, Matt was big then, Barker was big, Hitchens was everywhere. You know, there was the Four Horsemen came out around
Four
then.
Horsemen. I did like Hitchens, you know, or at least what he focused on.
So they did the big.
You only
Four
got
Horsemen
2 left now.
Talk and all that. So outside of the sanctuary at my church on my laptop with headphones on.
Wow.
And
heretic.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, people would come up and say, "Hey, what are you watching?" There actually was 3 other atheists at my church at the time. It's a very, like, my family's been in the church forever, and a lot of the people are, you know, they're brought in by their families and they're exposed to different elements of society, and they just go, you know, a different way. So I have some some atheist friends that I met at church. It's really weird to say.
You gotta pass out the pamphlets like it's okay.
Well, I got into the whole thing on the ACA and the and that, and I started getting into the chat with them. And one day I'm in the chat, and this is like maybe the 5th time I'm in the chat, and obviously Scotty's seen how comfortable I am at chatting over the last little while. So anyway, I get into the chat, and somebody, you know, we go back and forth on a couple of posts, you know, just quickly back and forth. And they asked me, like, what do you mean by atheist or something like that, right? So I type into the chat, if somebody asks you what you mean by what you are or what your position is or whatever, it's best to be clear about it, right? So, you know, I say to them something along, you know, the lines of what people normally say. I don't believe there's enough evidence to justify the belief in a deity, yada, 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 whatever. So I get just crapped on by one of the mods in chat saying, "You don't have to fucking come in here." And I'm like, "No, I wasn't. I was just chatting specifically with the other person who I addressed it to had asked me the question, and I was responding to it." And then they came back and said, like, "Don't talk back to me." And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then all of a sudden, like 4 people in the chat who were atheists jumped up and said, hey, no, he was, you know, it had nothing to do like that, like, just calm down and all this. And then the theist jumped in, the guy I was talking to, and another guy who was a very vocal, you would call it in chat, theist. They both jumped up and said, "Hey, what's your problem? Like, no, this isn't what's going on. Keep your nose out of it. We're having a pleasant conversation here," right? And this girl time-outed me, contacted me privately, and then was going to message me, and I said, "Look, you know, you embarrassed yourself a little bit there. I get it. You don't want to say anything in chat, but, like, you know, you don't shit on people like that." And apparently it was Eric. You remember Eric?
Oh, God, I remember Eric.
So it was Eric's girlfriend at the time.
Really?
And everybody stood up behind her, and they kicked me off the channel.
Wow.
And I was like, "What the fuck is this? Yeah. Who are these atheists, and why do they have this position of I always have to be right?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if that happened to me, I mean, you've probably seen it in chat where I've said something to someone and they're like, no, understood, right?
Yep.
That happens constantly in chat, and I literally got kicked off the channel for that.
Which is why I kind of prefer this format here versus text chat. I like to get people in the voice chat and having an actual conversation. Eric's another one of those guys. The AC, I cannot fucking stand him.
Well, here's some feedback there. Like, first, when you said, you know, like defining like atheist when somebody asks you that question, and one key thing you said there was, like, you know, something along the lines of, you know, I don't believe that there's enough evidence to support it, instead of where I think a lot of us, you know, or the lay person might just, you know, say atheist, you know, no God, right?
Right.
Where that's phrased a little bit differently. We're coming into chat giving you flack for, that definition. And then what it should be.
Well, no, I don't think
No,
they're
it was
trying
one.
to tell you what it should be. And one of the things that I've learned
No,
over
the
the
people in the chat were trying to tell you what it was. And that you were wrong,
I,
correct?
no, they were telling me I was wrong for explaining it, right?
Oh, that's even
Yes,
worse.
that's really weird.
Yeah, it was really fucking weird, is what it was. So anyway, I just after interacting with so many people, A, I know exactly what my position is, and I don't want to misstate it. And B, if you tell anyone who's a theist that you believe there is no God, okay, prove it. You're making a claim, prove it.
Right.
That's the first thing they say. And it's a tactic. It's not a way to have a good conversation. But I don't want to say all, but I would say that interacted with who were theists will respond that way. So I'm very careful about choosing my words on that.
I totally agree with you. Since I don't have this kind of experience, it's really, something somewhat new to me and kind of limited to this digital realm. But I would say I do see that on the atheist side, although I might not be capturing the interaction from the very genesis of it. But I do see also on the atheist side where they'll kind of do the same thing. So I mean, I understand this, really obnoxious theist people, but I kind of do see this with some of these, or what I would.
Did she
I
cut
think
out?
it's kind of like.
Sorry, Vic. Go ahead.
Oh no, I mean I heard her all the way. I'm not sure if there was right that cut out, but it sounded like it was complete to me.
Okay.
I was just gonna say that I think it was like what Scotty and I were saying. It's that their atheist alone is just kind of such a broad category of people that there's gonna be a lot of different people, and there's gonna be a lot of people who are atheists but not necessarily skeptical. There are people who are atheists who are skeptical, but they're not secular humanists. There are secular humanists who are not skeptical. I mean, it's a huge umbrella term. And so, there are going to be some obnoxious people out there. In fact, I have found more in common with a theist who is a humanist than I have with some atheists who are not secular humanists.
I've seen absolutely. I agree. I've seen absolutely reprehensible from these deist people, but I will also agree with what the gentleman was just saying a few minutes ago, though. And what you were saying was just I mean, because I'm a lay person, right? So. And I don't follow all the people you were just talking about. I don't know. I haven't been following these things, but so sometimes when I come in and I listen to a stream or a conversation or something like that, some just
Yeah, it's gonna be you're
and
gonna
you laying out what these terms are specifically, rather than it's theist or atheist, which to me just. And I'm not saying that's how it's portrayed or that's exactly what they say, but it just seems like it's this or not.
Often it is, though.
Yeah.
Often it does come into people who just want.
No, I don't.
What do you mean by
but
memes?
people will start throwing in these different terms around it. It's just okay.
No, and so that's why I tend to break it down. So just in Chris's chat alone, there was a person who also was an atheist, but also was a conspiracy into the QAnon kind of stuff. I was starting to see some references to QAnon, things like that. And so it's such a broad category that it's just like a theist is a broad category. So
Oh, totally, 100%. Just for me personally, if we're gonna have a discussion or something like that, let's say it's one-on-one, And just, and that's for both parties. It's just understanding like what we mean by when we say like secular or I'm atheist or, and all the different variations, right? So that way, like, we can have more of a constructive conversation where it's like, okay, like I understand what you mean by when you say you believe this, that, and that.
Sure. Yeah. And that's always, what I try to put forth. Obviously for, I would say, live chats, like
Well, I don't watch them that often, but
for Chris, for the, for the Daily Atheist, morning show sort of thing.
Damn network.
The damn network. Because it tends to bring in theists who are a little hotter, that are a little
yeah.
They're there because they're like, I'm going to win souls. Like, I'm going to preach. Like
I see that, and it's personally offensive to me.
So that's what surprises me as well. I mean, these people who come in. I mean, we all know Master Pastor, Pastor Dean, whatever his name is this week. Does he think he's winning people to his side?
No, that guy just wants to stick his nose in a fight.
Is that all it is? Because I mean,
that's what it comes across as me.
He claims to have a congregation. He claims that he's got this following.
Hey, before we go,
Sure, go ahead.
Do I know some of you under different names on Chris's show, or is this new to me here?
I'm Nicklet that you see in chat. I don't know about anyone else.
I'm Phantom X11 in chat.
Yeah, Phantom I recognize. Frank's 92 looks familiar as well.
I don't think Frank's
I've seen Machine Elf.
Frank's probably never seen the show. Machine Elf has. Victoria probably hasn't. Game Master has.
I came in here once or twice.
No, not the Discord. So this all came about because Chris has a daily show that he does.
Did we lose you?
No, can you hear me?
Oh, now
you chopped out for a second. But, yeah.
So Chris has a daily show that he does on YouTube. He started it back during COVID, and that's when I first met him. Then he kind of dropped off, and then he just kind of popped back up about 3-4 months ago. And he and I started talking, and I said, we want to collaborate on something. And this is more my forte here. I want to work behind the scenes to help get him going and promote him. But I'd like to get a community built over here because I think there's something there that can grow. So
the thing about Chris that when I'm watching the show, I just wish I was his co-host, keeping him on track. And he'll start saying a sentence and he'll get easily distracted by chat or something, or he'll come to a pause, and I usually throw up a exclamation point puppy cam or something like that, or just to keep him in the flow of things when it needs to be, and to cause like the whole thing with Pastor Dean and the pee-pee hole was just way too much for me, right? Yeah. Like he hit it over and over and over, and that's, I have to admit, on his old shows when he had two other guys on with him originally. Raging Atheist, and who was it? Chris and
there's another guy. I don't remember his name, but he showed up on one of our Friday lives we did.
He's awesome. Yeah. I think he's and he made a great partner for him. But when Rage got in there, the shows all got fiery, and they were like and Chris had to kind of stand back and almost moderate his own shows at that point, which it kind of kept him engaged an arm's length away from most of it. But I actually, way back then, I was sending him messages about, like, don't let him hijack the stream like that. He's taking it off in a direction I don't think you want to show. You should watch your analytics and see what happens when he's on, and like be aware. Yeah, you should have him on for 15 minutes to fire everyone up, but don't have him on for an hour and 15 minutes.
Right. Well, maybe
today.
we're
The guys,
looking at the start of the board for the Daily Atheist Media Network right here. The board. We'll get Chris on track. Are you listening, Chris?
he's doing just fine
He is
right
doing
now.
just fine.
The channels,
He's focused, and he's definitely he's right when the show's, like you said, he has a hard time saying focus, but I'll say that's part of his charm. That's part of his appeal. Some people enjoy.
oh, for sure.
They turn in and they want to listen to him rage, and he's got a point. He's got topics. He does a really good job of doing that. So,
Well,
I do prefer the part of his show where he's actually like running through a commentary on something when it's not Pastor Dean. When he's talking about current events or something that's cycling through the news or something like that, and giving his perspective on it. I like that part a lot better. But I know on social media, people like being engaged with on the chat, and he understands that, and that gets you retention. It gets you likes. It gets you follows. It gets you. Somebody told somebody and brought them into the program and all that. And, this guy was lipping me off the other day. You got to come in here and help me. Great. Now there's two people in there, right?
Yep.
So there's that going on, and there's that element. It's not necessarily how I would do it if I was in that seat, but
I think there could be
it
a
works
balance.
probably better than I would do it.
Yeah, I think
sorry.
there could be a balance. So sorry, I just wanted to quickly comment that I think there could be a balance. I think there could be, a part of the show that is, call and response, which he does with the polls and things like that, and then a part of the show where he focuses on a topic. He'll, bring up a video, or he'll, bring up like the history of this religion for that show, and that way you always have some sort of flow going, and it doesn't start to stagnate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's possible to do both. I definitely think there needs to always be a call and response part. I mean, if you're doing a live stream, that's what it's for. It doesn't necessarily need to be like duking it out with one specific theist in chat. It can just be a general, here is the poll topic today. What are you guys talking about? Here, what are your ideas? And he riffs off of the ideas brought up in the chat, and then after, I don't know, like 30 minutes of that, then he moves on to the next segment, which is another 30 minutes. Do that for, let's see, he does it for 2 hours. So, like, essentially have, like, 30, 40-minute segments of different things that he can move on to.
Yeah, the other thing is he opens up his analytics page and he starts showing me, oh, look, we've got like 45 people in the show now. Hey, save it for after the show. That's, I know there's probably some people who have their own streams and they're looking at stuff like that and thinking, oh, cool, an after show for that. That's not, I don't know. To me, that's not something I would ever do on stream. I think it's a little bit vain. Like, I wouldn't say on the stream, like, oh, I've contacted the ACA or the Line or Neil or somebody to put together a show with them. I don't know if you know, but when Tang changed to, what was it, Tart? It was the Atheist something or other, and they changed to Tang. Murdershed Steve had a program on there, and they were going to give him. Well, I did 3 commercials for him, right?
Wow.
And they loved them. They all thought they were funny as hell. J Mike and I had a little after show chat with them, one night video chat with them, and it went on for a couple hours. And they said, "Hey, you and Steve need to put together a show and do something out here." And right after that was that stream where they accidentally left it on for 2 hours, and they all talked shit about everybody. And J Mike finally went on and said, "Hey guys, the fucking stream's still open, right?" He was like losing his mind. So they had kind of shit the bed on that. And then I don't know what happened with Steve, but he kind of fell out of favor with them. And then the other guy went back to exclusively on TikTok and the whole thing fell apart, and Oz turned it into a rap channel or something like that.
He's a DJ show now.
DJ show, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's-
that was just about to happen, and that fell apart too. So
two things.
We
were talking about Deconstruction Zone earlier. Have you seen him yet, Dave?
Oh yeah.
I really enjoy
The
his.
gentleman.
I really like his format, and he's doing great. And the video you just posted, the Santa Satan thing. Have you seen Dear Santa yet on streaming?
Dear Santa?
The Jack Black show.
No.
The dyslexic kid who writes a letter to Santa and accidentally sends it to Satan.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fucking hysterical.
Awesome.
It's stupid, but it's got some funny moments. It's got some really funny moments. It's got some tearjerker moments too. It's really well done. I mean, it's typical Jack Black schlock, but it's got some moments on it. So I'll check out.
I've liked him in a couple of things, not everything, but yeah.
I've seen a few moments from it.
It's not a cinematic masterpiece. I'm not saying.
No, I couldn't. I was able to sit for a little bit, and while my family was watching it, but it wasn't enough to hold me.
No, I get that. And Jack Black's not for everybody. I can only take him in small doses. He's had a couple movies that I really enjoy. I really love Tropic Thunder.
No, I mean, like, Jack Black's, I've enjoyed, a few things from him. Like, classic Schoolhouse of Rock.
School of Rock, yep.
Sorry, School of Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock. Hey, I remember that.
But I was trying to, sorry.
It's my favorite after school special, the Schoolhouse of Rock.
Yeah, no, I meant School of Rock. Let's see, what other Jack Black stuff have I seen? I think I've seen a couple of voiceovers from him.
I got some trivia for you. What was Jack Black's first movie?
I love
Kung Fu Panda.
Was it Airborne?
Nope.
I have no.
No, it was when he was really young. I remember hearing this before.
Was he in Neverending Story 3?
Nope.
Something like that.
Oh, he might have been, but I don't know about that. The first. I don't know about that. Waterworld.
I don't recall seeing him in Waterworld.
So do you remember?
I mean, as a kid.
Do you remember? So wait, have you ever seen Waterworld?
I have, yes.
Okay, so the scene where the airplane is circling the boat and they hit it with a harpoon. Jack Black's the pilot.
Oh no, no. Everyone's earlier than Waterworld.
What the hell is Airborne?
Are you sure?
It's an old rollerblader movie from the early '90s.
No way.
Yeah, he was in something way long ago. But did you ever see him in The Jackal with Bruce Willis?
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Okay, I just looked him up on Wikipedia. It's Bob Roberts was his first movie. Airborne was his second.
Well, his first major movie, because he was.
Oh, now you're going to qualify.
Yeah, sorry, I should have been more clear. He was in Neverending Story 3 too. I didn't know that. Jesus. So what's his oldest one? Airborne's 93. Bob Roberts. I forgot about Bob Roberts entirely. When did Waterworld come out? I don't think he has credits for Waterworld. 95.
Yeah.
98, 94. Demolition Man? He was in Demolition Man?
Yeah. Oh, wasn't he? He was in The Mandalorian. I mean, he's like still going, right?
Wait, what? He was not.
He was.
Jack Black was in Mandalorian?
I don't remember seeing him in Mandalorian. Oh, he sure was. In chapter 22.
In season 3, when they went to the city where the other Mandalorians were kind of hiding out and hired as security, two people who ran the town were that singer violinist, and Jack Black was her husband.
I did remember hearing about that.
Was he hidden behind a mask?
No, he wasn't wearing the helmet.
Jack Black's like in a lot of different stuff. Like, he's been in a bunch of action movies. He used to play like a security guy. Please Be Kind, Rewind. He was in Cable Guy.
I actually really enjoyed Kung Fu Panda. I don't care what anybody says. I'll fight you.
Oh yeah.
I love the Kung Fu Panda movies. The last one was okay, but I liked the third one a lot. So. Oh, and this Dear Santa, the kid at the end is wearing a Minecraft pajamas, because he's got a Minecraft movie coming out, which I had predetermined I was going to hate it. And I saw the trailers and it actually looks kind of funny.
This is like a brand new movie.
Minecraft the movie coming out like next year.
No, the Dear Santa movie. Did that just come out last Christmas?
Dear Santa just came out this year. It's this year movie.
This year? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it was interesting. It had some moments. It had a little bit of a tearjerker moment, it has a ridiculous ending, but it's still fun.
Well, I think making a traditional ending of a Christmas movie right now is just basically going to get it stuck over on the Hallmark Channel.
Yep.
My sister's been in 2 Hallmark movies. I mean, everybody gets a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
There's 2 Vics in here. There's Demon Victoria and Vic Lit. Are you both Vic?
Yes. Vic and Vic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So call one Vicky and call one Tori and see which one yells at you the most.
Get iced.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do see that on YouTube. So I was originally just going to go with, like, just my name, which is Victoria Little. So, but then I saw everyone, I'm glad I didn't. I found out after the fact that there are quite a few Victorias popping up in chat. So
there's hardly any Dave.
I've seen, like, you are Victoria. I've seen at least 3 other Victorias in chat.
Just now?
No. This is like throughout different live streams.
Okay, I was like, what are you? Wait, what? What? They're multiplying in here?
No.
Get me paranoid. Like, we have to get your swords.
No, and it's really confusing when people, like, are calling out, like, from the stream, Victoria. Like, we'll say, yeah, you gotta, oh, Victoria's saying, or you got a point, Victoria. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know who the fuck's talking, because I just, real everyday sort of thing. I tend to just go by Victoria. And here it seems to be a little bit less common. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen another Vic in chat. So I just go with Vic Lit. It works. Everyone knows who I am. Although they do ask.
Except me.
Yeah.
Well, when I first saw your actual profile name, the Little Bit Vic, I could have swore I saw Little Bitch in there when I first looked at it. So.
Yeah, well, that's your mind. Sorry, I can't control it.
It could be filling it in. I don't know, but I mean, I not picked up any real bitch vibes yet. But nice young.
Yeah, who knows? It could, things could develop, but I haven't had anyone call me a bitch. I've called. Well, no, that's incorrect. I've had friends say to me, "I love you, bitch." But aside from that,
I've had people call me the B word. Many worse things.
Yeah, no, you can just call me Vic. I don't see other people getting confused with that. I mean, there was one time, and I got real nervous. Someone called into the line. It was a guy who called in with the name Vic and was very belligerent over the phone. And I'm literally in the live chat as this is happening. And I'm like, oh, fuck. You're like, please, this isn't me. I swear.
I got to tell you a story. Back when I went to my church, we had like an annual meeting thing where we were electing a new president and doing a whole bunch of stuff. And I did, because I'm an IT guy, I did all of the hookup, all the microphones, the cameras, the screens, everything. I set everything up, and I'm sitting there at kind of my laptop in the control area, running the audio board and all this stuff. And this guy gets up on the screen. He's from Ontario. His name is exactly the same as mine. And he starts going off on this right-wing Christian tirade, like with fury in the church on this meeting about we can't do this and we can't let women into the church and we still shouldn't have this and we still shouldn't have that. And he was losing his mind over trans people and the whole thing. And one by one, everyone in our congregation turned around and looked at me like, how is this fucking possible? Like, how can you guys have the same name and be complete opposites? And I looked up at them, held up my hand, I said, I got this. And I went up to the mic and I said, I'm the real Dave. and I laid it all out, essentially 180 degrees to this guy. And he just stood there gobsmacked because, like, he didn't understand what was going on. He wasn't prepared for somebody to be prepared to just come right back at him and say, no, you're 100% completely wrong, and yada, yada, yada. And, yeah, so there's this story going around our church. Anytime somebody has an argument, they're like, oh, which Dave?
So if Dave slaps you, are they going to ask, okay, I think I know which Dave, but I'm going to ask, things could be what?
Oh, no. If Dave got into trouble, they'd know it's me.
Oh, they know
there's a church camp down in Washington State that I've been going to since I was a kid. Literally, every kid's church camp, and for the week-long family camp, every year up until I was like 12, 13 years old and got a job for the summer where I couldn't go down there. And then later on in life, actually was the registrar of the camp. So the president and I basically ran the camp for 150 people for an 8-day campground down there, right? But as a kid, I was the kid who they would say, hey, can you go start a campfire? Because they knew I was a pyro. I was the kid who hot-wired the tractor and drove it around and didn't realize the grass cutter was down the whole night while I was driving the tractor around.
Nice.
Oh, my word.
I went up on top of the main hall where the bell is. They have one of those huge, like, church bell sort of things, right? And they ring it every morning at 8 o'clock or 5 to 8 or whatever to wake everybody up for breakfast. So I went up on the roof and stuffed it full of potato sacks and taped it up so it wouldn't ring.
Oh, my word.
Anytime something went wrong, it was Dave.
Welcome in, Lawrence.
Wow.
How are you?
Hi. Yes, my name is Wesley Lawrence Curry II. I am in Huntington, West Virginia. How is everybody?
Doing wonderful.
Pretty good. Nice to see you again, Wesley.
I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, so we're like as far away from each other as two North American people can get.
I don't know. I mean, he could be, let's see.
Southern Florida might be farther.
He could be in Central America. I mean, that's technically still North America, right?
Yeah, I guess.
What brings you in tonight, Lawrence? We're just telling stories.
Well, I heard I was tooling through YouTube and your station came up. You're saying that you're a Christian, that you go to church.
Wait, who said that?
I thought that's what I heard one of you say.
Dave said something about a church, but I don't think he's Christian.
Oh.
Dave, you're not Christian?
It was a many moons ago church story.
Yeah. There's a lot of ex-Christians in here.
So, yeah.
I mean, you're in the daily atheist Discord. I mean,
yeah. Well, I claimed for many years that I was a baptized Christian, and then Jesus revealed to me it was not the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you now?
Well, I will put it to you this way. In the days I was saying I'm, the phrase washed in the blood, filled with the Holy Spirit, it was all lip service. It was just empty, vain words from my mouth, not based on reality. Reality is that my sin had turned my soul into dead ashes from head to toe. Not clean, not quite holy light. I saw my soul and it was filthy, dead gray colored ashes from head to toe.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
take it that you are a religious, probably Christian.
I do believe and know that Jesus is God and that there is no other God beside him.
And how do you know?
I did see the Holy Spirit in me.
What did it look like?
Looked like a glowing white bowling ball.
Yeah, that tracks. Continue. What else did you see? How else do you know?
Maybe like a sermon?
The rest of my soul looked like somebody had hung
How
a
can you
pig.
see your soul?
The scales, my judgment, were removed from my eyes as I slept in bed one night, and an angel lifted my head and showed me my soul.
Sleep paralysis, perhaps? Okay.
No, the sleep paralysis would have been on October 10, 2005, when a voice said, "I will turn and toss you violently like a ball." Or the sleep paralysis would have been on March.
Okay, so you've seen the Holy Ghost, and you know Jesus exists because...
Yeah, that voice said, "Don't tell the vision." That wasn't sleep paralysis. That was Jesus removing the hedge from those ashes, his forgiveness, the hedge. And without the hedge, I couldn't move. That wasn't paralysis. That was my inability to move because I was not baptized.
Okay,
Lawrence, I gotta ask you here if I can jump in. Sorry, Vic.
No, please.
If I can jump in for just a sec, it's not like any of us who've been in these Discord chats and streams and stuff haven't heard this before. And the big question that comes out when someone makes a supernatural or extraordinary claim like this is, how would we know the difference between your story, the difference between someone who is deluded by their senses, a person who is flat out lying, or someone who is like, because we know the human brain doesn't work correctly all the time, how would we know you're not misremembering this in line with your biases and previous like movie and book and reading experiences? How do we know that you're actually experiencing this in a different way than all the people who've been proven to have false memories or misremembered or lied or whatever the case may be? How do we tell the difference as an outsider?
Who said that you could tell the difference? You can't. You
Okay.
don't.
You know what?
I don't
I will
need
say
you.
straight up, that is the honest answer, and I am so appreciative that you put that on the table with us. That makes a huge difference to your integrity.
Yeah, I don't mind hearing stories like this. I mean, you know, they're interesting, for sure.
It just as honest as it is, I do appreciate the honesty. It just means that it can only be convincing to you, and that's, I'll always put forth that the most personally convincing argument is going to be an experience, a personal
experience. Yeah.
But
it's a situation that is almost ripe for doubt. So I have to understand you about that. Do any of you ever heard of the scripture about the 10 horns of Satan?
And you're talking about Revelation.
Yeah, the
Sorry,
10 world leaders.
I want to just hold you before you get off track here. You just said something kind of important about you have the understanding that when people hear about this, that they respond with doubt. you understand why they respond with doubt?
I've got to learn how to say it without blaming or accusing.
No, say it whatever way you're comfortable with, and we understand. You came in here and you're being quite honest with us, and I don't care what way you say it.
I'll just put it to you from myself. I said I was Christian, and the fact is I was not. What I believed in was Jesus forgiving me. But when somebody did something against me, I didn't forgive them. So that's not the forgiveness of Jesus. When I don't forgive you,
that's not the question I asked.
I don't really believe
about
in Jesus.
when people hear a story like yours about the experience, the soul, whatever it may be, they respond almost immediately, and almost like I would say almost 100% of them would respond with doubt. Even Christians who are contemporary Christians or progressive Christians, anyone who's not standing in a church in front of a pastor would ask questions about that. And do you understand that, like, in the world that we live in, there are explanations for what you're saying. There are many good, valid, repeatable, demonstrable explanations for what you're saying that aren't your explanation. So when people respond with doubt, it's because in the reality of the world that we live in, that we experience and share, we know that the reason you're giving for this is the least likely reason for it to be true.
Well, I did recognize that when Satan said, "I will turn and toss you violently like a ball," inside of me, it was like I was turned into his personal secret radio.
You know anyone else who's spoken to this Satan and confirmed what you've said about them?
He doesn't listen. You don't speak with Satan. He never listens. He just talks as though he's not going to listen.
And you don't see that as problematic?
Satan listening. That's funny. No, he doesn't do that.
Oh, I meant other people. Do you have a friend who said, "Yeah, I heard that exact same voice. It sounded exactly like that. I'm 100% sure it was Satan and it spoke to me." Or do you know anyone who's perhaps from another religion who's had a very, very similar experience to yours as far as the orb of light and the soul goes, and they attribute it to Allah or Xenu or the spaghetti monster or some other deity? Have you spoken to anyone like that?
Never bothered to ask anyone that. I didn't want to put them up to having to lie to me.
Well, maybe they're not lying.
Anyway, the way Satan did that is the way Satan's going to make 10 world leaders his 10 horns. And the horns are going to blow the message of the devil, the one world religion, the omni-bar, branded by handheld laser barcodes.
To basically everyone in here, when we're listening to stuff like this, it does sound a little preachy, and to us it's, cool story, bro. It doesn't mean anything without having evidence or something.
It's the equivalent of reciting
the
Bhagavad Gita or to reciting, the Quran. Like when you recite things like from Revelation, we don't have any way to verify that.
Sure. Let me put it to you this way. Jesus showed me a dream of a foot. It was wearing a fashionable...
Lawrence, you're making another assertion, and what we're saying here is...
How do you know what I'm going to say? You're like Satan. You don't listen. You interrupt me every time I speak.
Yes, because you just said you're hearing the voice of Jesus.
You know what I'm going to say.
You just made two assertions in the first sentence. That's why I stopped you.
You interrupt because you do not have ears to listen.
I'm literally listening to what you're saying probably better than you are.
Hey, Wesley, are you here to for a back and forth for a conversation, or are you just here to tell your stories and spread your word?
Let me hear what you have to say about this, but let me complete the thought. I failed Jesus not believing his forgiveness. He showed me a foot cut off that didn't bleed. I'm double-minded and double-hearted and double-tongued. It fails you when I'm that way. You know, when I'm double-hearted, double-minded, and double-tongued, I fail you. When I fail you, I fail God, and he is Jesus. So he showed me in a dream 2 short creatures with cone heads and pointed ears, one cutting off a foot and the other one looking at me and smiling. When I don't get involved, I fail you.
Okay.
When I fail you,
I understand that much, but do you understand why we interrupt and why we find this not convincing at all?
Why I'm telling you this?
I'm waiting to hear the point. I really would love to hear the point.
If you don't tell the vision, you all shall lose everything you have.
And you believe
And
that
you
you believe that we've all heard a message, right?
That sounds too esoteric at some point.
No, hang on. There's a reason I'm asking this. Wesley, you believe we've all heard a message, right?
Wesley, you still with us?
I haven't finished saying what I was going to say.
Right, because like I said, we're trying to have a conversation here, and I understand what you're saying. You said you're double-tongued. Give it to me again.
I fail you being double-tongued, double-hearted, and double-minded.
Explain. I have no idea what that means. So I stop you because I need to understand that. What does double-hearted mean? How can you be double-hearted?
If I can jump in for just one sentence, use words that are meaningful to the discussion here. Preaching and just saying things that no one's ever heard before, putting pretty words together doesn't mean anything. Use words that are actually meaningful to the discussion we're actually having. Double-tongued and double whatever doesn't. It's meaningless. No one's ever used that in a sentence before.
No, I'm sure they have. He probably has, but
He did. He finished his pitch.
Right,
It's a word of caution.
you're in a
that we
you're in
should
a
pay
cop-
attention more and believe in what you're saying. Is that correct?
You're in a coffee shop. You're in a store, and somebody is the aisle over from you, and they kind of verbally snipe you. Or you're in a cafeteria lunch and somebody verbally snipes you. Now, if you probably feel like you just got cut off by them just by them doing that. But if you go up and ask them what they said, they would say, "I didn't say that. I don't know what you're talking about." That's double.
So, do you mean like gaslighting, or?
I don't know what if somebody says something bad about you within your earshot, but then you ask them what they said and they deny it, they out and out just lie to your face and say, "I never said that. I don't know what you're talking about." That's double.
I get it. So that's your definition of what you say. Now, using that same analogy, explain what you're doing here. What do you?
These words, this vision is that pearl of light in your belly that Satan could not touch when he raped.
Pearl of light. Jesus Christ, dude.
I have not been raped by any pearls of Satan.
So right now, what you're doing?
You heard Satan too. You want to help this disguise? Go ahead, but I know you did.
I don't believe in God or Satan or any other
deity.
And
you're gonna be offered $32,000 to be branded a slave. So go ahead.
All right, let's hold on. Let's hold on. Pause for a minute.
The Omnibar is coming your way, kid.
Hold on.
Hey,
I'd like to say.
Hang on.
I'm older than you fool.
One at a time. Hang on. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, if I may, right now we're struggling to see what you're trying to say because you're using analogies that are within the essentially the language of the Book of Revelation. You're trying to use metaphors and symbols that are coded. And we don't need that coding. We need
you're talking.
Hey, Lawrence, Wesley, let her finish talking. You were given quite a bit of.
But the reason, the why, it gets cut off.
Didn't even make a dent.
All right.
Go ahead.
What we're trying to say is we want to understand what you're saying, but when you use these metaphors, it couches it in language that we can't understand.
Yeah. this vision of the full moon, the orange red and the lower dark green leaves on the palm trees on the right, the square pit, the crooked path of spinning circle saws that are rusted gold and silver half in the ground, the river in the middle curved like the letter C, the straight trees on the left in a row with bright green leaves on top, the foot cut off, it didn't bleed, the clean white sock, the fashionable dirty black shoe. That's what that pearl of light in your belly is.
None of that meant anything to me.
Yeah.
It's all dribble drabble.
Yeah,
It means
actually,
nothing.
We had that vision every day for 22 years.
You did?
Yeah, you did.
Wait, you're saying we did?
Oh no, I guarantee you I did not.
Nobody has ever. I've never had that vision, and I've never heard anybody else describe that ever in my life either. So
I can't even repeat what you said. I don't know what did you just say?
If you'll tell the vision, you won't need the omnimark. That's what I'm getting down to. If you'll tell that vision from Jesus, you will not need the omnimark. He'll send angels to you with some fish and bread DoorDash for free.
Thanks for the sales pitch. Have a nice night.
Unreal.
This is it for me.
So, hey Wesley.
Yeah.
I know sometimes you just pop out, and I'm. This is kind of off topic. I just wanted to compliment you on your Peanuts solo or improvisation that you did the other day.
Oh, you saw that? Thank you.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'm a very amateur filmmaker, and I used to be a music director for the Second City in Chicago, where I worked with a lot of people from Saturday Night Live and from primetime TV. So I got a little skill there, but I don't have a skill at filmmaking. I'm using that for a short movie I'm making.
Oh, okay.
About a piano player that gets fired on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, nice. I just wanted to get that in there before you left because I know they're you got. So you guys get back to your conversation.
We're not going to boot him. I mean, he's welcome. We are literally.
No, I know. Sometimes he just jumps out
on and on. You know, I don't know about you. When somebody starts going on and on and on about something, you kind of turn everything off in your ears. I'm done. I've said enough, I think. But thanks for letting me speak. Now it's my turn to listen.
So Game Master wanted to chime in here too.
Right.
Well, I just want to say, sometimes the explanations can be a little bit too exoteric, but yeah, pretty much that's it. Also, you said something about forgiveness before a couple times. Well, forgiving is hard. I've been there too. Sometimes just gotta let go. You and I have a hard time letting go. So we can relate. Just saying.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still a little bit curious. I don't know about anybody else.
Well,
no, there's nothing about it that makes me curious in the slightest way. I've heard this in so many different verbiages from different religions, from different people, and the explanation is always the same. If you want to use a whole bunch of words that are meaningless to people, you're only talking to hear your own voice.
Well, so I have a question then, if you guys don't mind. So you keep bringing up this fashionable shoe. Could you tell me what that actually is? Like, not what it is metaphorically, but like what it means or what it's a metaphor for?
Sure. The shoe was black. It looked dirty. The sock looked white and clean. The shoe had a square toe to it, and it was on a guy's left foot. And the leg of that guy was already cut off when I saw this dream.
Yeah, so I've watched your video. I'm just curious, what is that shoe? Like what it is in real life?
Sure, in real life, the simplest word for it is why. The more wordy version of it would be it is my reasons, my logic, my fashionable scientific words. You know, any logic reasons that I would use against this vision is that black shoe. My why? Why should I tell this? You know, Jesus didn't give anybody a dream of two little creatures from Harry Potter cutting off a leg or a foot. You know, Jesus wouldn't give a dream of a square pit with a guy in the pit missing half his brains. You know, that kind of stuff is that black shoe. You know, what It's not logical. There's no logic to it. I don't know. Why? That's the black shoe. Somebody's going to wear that black shoe unto their death after they get their leg cut off. And
So we should be avoiding.
And the foot's going to get cut off with it. So.
Yeah. So what's the significance of it being cut off?
The foot cut off simply means one will do.
One will do.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Can you try to tell me what you mean by that?
Yeah, television more than once.
So the leg being cut off means television more than once.
No,
the foot cut off means one will do. Whatever that means to you, that's for you to decide, not for me to tell you what it means. The pure meaning of the foot cut off, one will do. That's all I know about it.
Okay, so what does it mean to you then?
It means one will do, and I am a little bit confused about that too. I don't want to make it into something it's not. It means one will do.
Okay, I think Machine Elf had something to say.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you're because I'm interested in the prescriptions you have for us, even if we accept what you're saying. It sounds like you're saying we should abandon logic because they hold us back from faith in Jesus Christ. Is that the message or prescription that you have for us?
The black shoe means why, and it gets cut off.
Yeah, we need to abandon why and just have faith, right?
Well, when that devil, threw his fire onto me and made me feel like I was electrocuted as I lay in bed and said, "I will turn and toss you violently like a ball," the part of me he couldn't touch with his fire, his electric bolt, the part of me he couldn't touch was that pearl of light in my belly. That's the Holy Spirit of Jesus.
Guys,
so the rest,
hang on a second. Hang on. Time out. Vic's saying goodnight. So good night, Victoria. Thanks for stopping in. Sorry, Lawrence. Go ahead.
The dead ashes, which is really death. My name blotted out of the book of life, not baptized. The spirit of slumber, the desolation. Those ashes is the kingdom of Gog and Magog that I saw in me. Me claiming to be a believer in Jesus, and fact is, I was not baptized. The devil could electrocute those ashes like it was a filament in a light bulb, and it only lasted a moment. So that's what happened to me. He couldn't touch the Holy Spirit of Jesus inside of me, which is that pearl of light, and that pearl of light is that vision. That's why Jesus wants you to tell it, so it will restore the ashes to light, and the devil can't get into you.
Yeah, it could be very useful to externalize the negative aspects of your being, things that you don't like about yourself, and call it the devil and whatnot. That's what most people do. Yeah. For you, it seems to be very real, though, like with visions and everything like that. Do you ever consider that maybe you might have... and I'm not trying to be too forward or be like an armchair psychologist, but have you considered that you have might have a mental illness or like schizophrenia?
I do have a mental illness. I do have schizophrenia. I have the light form of it, not the hard form. There's a light and a hard. The hard is where the voices are so interruptive and loud in a person's mind that they don't have room in their head for their own thoughts. The people on the street that are pointing at the telephone pole going, "Purple toaster." That's the hard form of schizophrenia. I have the light form, where my imaginations are a little bit louder than yours. I learned how to manage it. I've got a nice.
Again,
I've got credit.
Earlier, you said that you had no way of telling the difference between the two, and I think it's valid to bring that point up again.
The funny thing is, those ashes that I saw in my soul, there wasn't a dry place on them. They were oiled, clear, clean oil, soaking in it from head to toe.
Did they not have to be either clean or dirty, either oily or not, either damp or not? Like you had a vision of ashes, right?
Jesus loves me enough that he anointed my death.
How do you know Satan didn't?
I heard Jesus say it is time. I heard Satan say sad and delicious. To the unknowing person, they sounded the same. I knew who was who immediately.
So you said Jesus has anointed your death?
He anointed my soul. That's what
Anointed your soul.
oil,
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the oil is. That's the real anointing of Jesus. And he taught me that I failed him. I have a branchless faith, like straight branchless trees. I tend to blame.
That doesn't make you special. That makes you Christian, because basically every Christian has ever been to church has been told that they are born with original sin. So that makes sense that you would inherit that into your vision, right?
But let me ask you this. If I offered you $32,523 that you cannot give to anyone else, you can't loan it to your friend or give it to your family members, that you have to spend it yourself, but to get it, you have to be branded by a handheld laser, your skin burned with a barcode called the Omnibar, would you take it?
Probably.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
And if you take it, those ashes in the soul will be made into gray scabs on your face and on your loins and on your chest.
Well, that's a different offer, isn't it?
You
didn't include that in the offer.
I'm giving you the whole consumer package.
Let me ask you a question, Lawrence.
Okay,
Can
ask
I buy
the whole question again from the beginning.
Okay, if I offer you 32,523 Islam oil bank dollars to be branded with a barcode, and
why do they have to be Islam oil bank dollars now when they didn't have to be the first time?
What is Islam oil bank dollars? What?
It's the one world religion, the way Satan will overtake the economy.
So it's something that doesn't. It's nothing that exists today, then, right?
Right. But if you take that barcode, if you get branded by the handheld laser on your wrist or your forehead with a barcode.
Why is it handheld? Can't it be on a machine head?
Because the mark of the beast has, progressed to digital.
Duh.
Anyway, and then if you take it, you're going to get gray scabs that itch and make a squeaky noise.
Oh my
and
god!
Then
every time it's something different.
On the same day, everyone that takes that barcode is going to fall dead in the streets. Would you take it?
I've obviously not, but I've heard enough of your story to understand that what you're exhibiting, and I don't know if you realize this. Maybe watch this over again. I don't know if you've recorded it, but there is a phenomenon amongst people who tell stories like this, tell fantastical stories or stories that they only know a bit of or stories that were relayed to them, and they fill in the blanks. The more they go along, the more they fill in the details of the story, usually incorrectly. It's one of the phenomenons that police run into with witnesses to accidents when they've glanced over and seen something slightly, and they say, was the guy wearing white running shoes? And he goes, yeah, for sure he was wearing white running shoes. And was he also wearing a hat or a hoodie? Oh no, he had a hoodie on. And they fill in, their mind fills in those gaps as they go along. And when the next officer comes along, says, was he wearing a red shirt under the black hoodie? Yeah, he was. And they fill in those blanks. And every time they tell the story back, and every time there's something of influence to them, they add it to the story. They embellish the story. They make the story richer the more they tell it. But it's not reflective of the original story.
In the vision, that pearl of light, there was spinning gold and silver that was rusted. And
you didn't respond to anything I said, so first respond to that, and you could say, I'll give you time to say whatever you want afterwards.
You said an imagination.
No, I didn't. You said a phenomenon.
I said, will you take $32,000?
Hold on. Respond to what I said, please. Stay on it.
That into something that it isn't.
Oh, I explained to you that we have evidence and demonstrations of this that are called phenomenon, that are common in the human brain, that are common in our society. And you're exhibiting that phenomenon right now to us. I want you to address that in a way that's meaningful to us without just dumping it off into a left-hand turn or quoting scripture.
Well, when it comes to scripture, I am very much like the head I saw in the pit missing half its brains.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, you're not.
No, I
He's
saw
just
you're
dodging everything.
Just not making a
the
dent.
head missing half its brains, which is kind of like my knowledge of the scripture. I'm looking in my mind for an answer. I just don't want to mislead you.
Sorry, Wesley?
Sound smart.
There's two responses that I'd like to hear from you, and I think you're honest enough to say it. When I ask you a question like that, and it's very, very specific, I want you to say, I don't care. Because obviously the way that you responded to that 3 times, you don't care. The other thing is, if you want to believe, that's great. The most honest answer you can say about believing in any deity, Jesus, Allah, whoever, is I believe because I want to believe. That's the most honest answer. It's not a good answer, but it's the most honest answer. And I think you should use those 2 answers a lot more than you do.
So you're saying I have to give you the answer you want? That's not a question. You're making an ultimatum.
I literally just didn't say that.
Yeah, I don't think you listen at all, Lawrence. I think you just wait for your turn to speak.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys don't
what I said earlier is when people come in and they do stuff like this and they talk over you and they won't respond to your interaction, they're usually, and I'm not saying he is or everyone is, I said they're usually just in here to hear their own voice.
And like I said, if you won't tell the vision, you're going to lose everything you have. That's all there is to it.
So,
every one of it.
You feel like what you're doing right now is you're doing this all a service, right? You are preaching, whatever it is. You're sharing your vision.
It's a call to action.
I'm hoping to wake you up.
Okay.
Now this is part.
So you're completely oblivious to the fact that you sound like a complete whack job, and nothing you say is making any sense. I mean,
yeah, that's what the FBI said.
No. Don't go off on a tangent. I want a genuine answer to this question. You do realize that what you're saying to anybody else sounds like you are unhinged.
Yeah, I realize that you're of the darkness.
Right. So as long as you realize that you sound unhinged, and what you're doing is an actual disservice to whatever your end means might be.
Well, you've seen visions of what happens.
I've seen no visions of anything involving you. Yeah. I didn't know who you were till you walked in, until you showed up here, and then somebody shared with me a link to your other stuff. So that's why I was a little bit. I was looking for an honest answer from you, flat out. If you realize that you are doing whatever end goal you're looking for, you're doing it more harm than good by coming in and spouting the most bizarre shit.
It's not just what you're saying; it's the way that you're saying.
Don't take the omnibar, please.
I promise you, I will not.
I promise you'll never be offered the omnibar.
It's going to be law that you.
Well, I won't take it anyway.
I guarantee you'll never be offered. It'll never be law ever.
Yeah, it will be.
In your lifetime, it will not be.
In case,
in my lifetime,
think we could all agree. Like maybe we'll be like, that one guy did say.
Yeah, that one nut job who showed up. He came and warned me about a bar.
He's talking about a
handheld laser. I had a handheld laser in my hand today. Oh my goodness.
I hope the omnibar serves tequila.
Make mine a Guinness.
That was a good one.
Listen,
that was.
Wesley, do you like scotch?
For a minute, you sounded normal there. Go ahead.
Wesley, do you like scotch?
No. But I used to be a $100 a day crackhead. So,
checks out. I was looking for some common ground there. I thought there's got to be something we can agree on because you like Guinness, and I'm not a total Guinness fan, but I like scotch, and most people who like Guinness like scotch.
I'm a big Guinness. I love my black and tans.
Hey, there you go.
I will say this. He says he's not a great filmmaker, and I've seen some of his short films, and they're pretty interesting. I enjoyed them.
Well, there's no doubt that he's definitely got some creativity in there. So I'm interested in seeing this stuff. So I've got it bookmarked. I'll go back and look at it later.
Well, that's why Second City hired me. My job, I got paid to make up music on piano live on stage. That was my job. I was not. The audience would throw suggestions to the comedians. they would make a funny sketch about the audience suggestions, and I was there on the piano, and I would have to write the music score for the scene, whatever happened, So that was my job.
Yeah, you're very
that's
talented
pretty awesome.
pianist as well.
Really awesome.
It was
That's
pretty cool.
awesome.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
And I don't mean this in any negative way at all. There is a direct correlation between people who are that talented musically, especially when it comes to improv, and being on the autism spectrum.
Oh,
Have
sure.
you
I don't
ever
think
run
I had-
into that?
I knew an autistic, Joseph Sullivan, who was observed by Dustin Hoffman for The Rain Man. I was pretty close to Joseph. Matter of fact, he lives about 4 blocks away from me now. But no, I don't have that kind of photographic savant where I see.
No, I'm not. Hang on. It's autism is a spectrum, right? And most people in society are on somewhere on the autism spectrum. The people who are suffering from autism are way over on one side of it, like this person, and like my friend who makes music and writes commercials and all that. He's autistic as well. Autistic meaning he's been diagnosed with having an issue with it. But most people are somewhere on it.
The crowd I hung out with in Chicago was the painters and musicians, the deep ones, the ones that were really there. And one of our cardinal laws was you do not do derivative work. Derivative is bad. So, do your own thing, kind of. That was our sort of the verbatim, the vernacular imperative, with the artists, the painters that I hung out with in Chicago, and the musicians.
Yeah, and the whole industry has turned around to basically 180 degrees on that position. The more derivative, the more watchable, the more it follows the content now. That's the way it is.
People are learning how to be their own TV station, so they're being derivative to get attention.
Oh no, but if you look at the people who are writing Hallmark movies, they literally get notes on rewrites to make it more like the previous Hallmark movie.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
100%. I've spoken to them personally.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Maybe somebody can shoot me over your YouTube, Lawrence.
I put it in the chat.
Oh, cool. All right, you all take care.
The last thing I'll say before I depart, I shall come and visit each and every person.
All right.
Without TV.
And don't say Tori again, Scotty. Consequences.
Yeah, the Clone Wars begin soon, so.
Yeah, we'll be watching for it.
Hey, Wesley, hold on. Wesley, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I've been recording this. Do you mind if I, if it's okay with everyone else, if I post this to my YouTube?
We're streaming live right now. So.
You are? Okay.
My life is a little book, an open book. I've been a wicked man, and I'm more than willing to share how I made faults, hoping that others will not make the same mistakes that I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes,
have a good one, Wesley.
You have my blessing to show anything that you want. I prefer you put the whole thing in there. If you're going to edit it, God bless you.
Nope, won't edit it.
No, there's no need for editing on this one.
Nope. Well, it looks like a good place to end the night, I think. Thanks for everybody showing up.
Anybody got a tune that they would like to hear improvised on?
Could you do a Christmas one?
Sure. What, you got a particular favorite Christmas one?
Carol the Bells.
Carol the Bells. The next video that shows up on my site will be Carol the Bells, and I will go in crimson discipline on you with it.
Looking forward to it. All right, guys, thanks for joining, and I think we'll just call it a night right here.
Yeah.
Sounds good. See you all next time.
Good night.